So when people ask hydros, it's like Dave and I, it's like, why don't we have a Wi-Fi dosing pump? This is why. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of CBTV. My name is Carlos and I'm here with David Dakin, owner of CoralVue. How are you, Dave?
Doing well. How are you today, Carlos?
I'm doing well. So let's jump in. One of the biggest questions that we have online support portal when we go to trade shows is, why don't we have Wi-Fi dosing? You know, it's like, I have a Comor doser that is Wi-Fi. I would like the hydros to control it. So before we get into Wi-Fi dosing and everything, let's remember this show is watched by a lot of newbies. So let's break it down. Dave, what is a dosing pump?
So it's a device often used in medical applications.
Okay.
It's a device or a pump. It's used to deliver precise liquid volume.
Okay, and they're pretty easy to set up.
It's easy to set up, and it's going to give you that. If you set it for 15 mils, it's going to give you 15 mils. However often you set it up to run.
Okay. The reason why we use a dosing pump also is for supplementing. You know, your aquarium needs a particular type of trace element. Whether it's planted aquarium, you need iron, you need phosphate, or you have a reef tank like the one behind me, where you need alkalinity, calcium, magnesium, or little trace elements. It's used for that particular application. Sometimes we even use them for automatic water changes. So, you know, it's like this tank right here. You know, once a day, there's like a couple of gallons that are pulled out and 2 gallons of fresh salt water pulled right in, and it does that automatically without me having to worry. And that's done with dosing pumps. All right. So how does there's a couple of things that about a dosing pump. You know, how does it work? I know that there's an autonomous dosing pump where you can just program it and it'll do it by itself, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can set it, and once you have it uploaded, you'll have your dosing regimen set to your device, and it can be stored locally, and it can be executed by the doser, even with or without Wi-Fi or Bluetooth connection.
Okay, so I'm guessing there are some pros and cons to that application.
Yeah.
What are the pros?
The pros is that it's basically it's you're storing it locally. It's stored on the device. When you know when it comes on, how much it's going to dose. But there's also some cons to that too. Is it's the same volume was going to be dosed each given time.
So it doesn't change.
Doesn't change.
If I wanted to change it, I have.
Yeah.
If you wanted to change it, then you have to connect to the pump, go to the app, change it, upload it, so it stores on the pump itself, and then it makes the changes. So it's not very dynamic. It's actually very static. Okay, so which brings me to the next word, dynamic. Okay, there's also another type of dosing pump, and that is the dynamic dosing pump. And that dosing pump relies on a controller that has some kind of input, and it can tell the dosing pump when to start or when to stop based on a particular input. So let's say this tank is 210 gallons and my alkalinity is down by half a point. Then the controller will know exactly how much liquid to add to this tank in order to bring that alkalinity back down up by half a point. So it changes, it varies. So the pros about it is the dynamic part of it, that it can change without me having to tell it increase or decrease. It's nice to have that automation. But the cons also is that you need either a wired or wireless connection from the controller who's computing to the dosing who is executing. All right. Yeah. And that's where you need to. So the controller somehow via wireless or wired, it needs to tell the dosing pump start and then tell the dosing pump stop, because the dosing pump doesn't know because the volume is going to change every time. Carlos, cannot program the dosing pump that it's technically, it's almost like the controller is programming daily the dosing pump with a new volume. That's technically what's happening. All right. So that brings me to the proverbial question, which is what we started the show, is Wi-Fi dosing, yes or no? So what do you think, Dave?
Well, here's the biggest question. What happens when the Wi-Fi goes down or the signal's interrupted between controlling and the doser, but between the controller and the doser?
Okay.
Do we know? Do we?
Exactly. So we don't know. Does the controller, does the dosing start? I mean, let's
does
say
it stay running forever? We don't know.
So what happens if the Wi-Fi goes down before the controller has to tell the doser to turn on and turn off? Then the doser is not going to do anything. Right. So that day it's going to skip, or that particular time that it has to dose something, it's going to skip it because it doesn't know. It's not getting the command. All right. And then, so to me, that's for Wi-Fi dosing. Okay. Now here's the other question, which is the more dangerous one. It's like, let's say, Dave, that my controller via Wi-Fi tells the doser to start. And then right after that, because it's Murphy's Law, we know how that works, you know, right after it sends the command to start, the Wi-Fi goes down.
Drops. Yep.
It drops. So now the controller is trying to tell the doser to stop, but the Wi-Fi is down, so the controller the controller is sending the signal, but the dosing pump is not getting it. What's going to happen, Dave? Right. The dosing is going to keep going, and keep running. And imagine if you're dosing lanthanum, you know, it would be bad. So exactly. So when people ask hydros, it's like Dave and I, it's like, why don't we have a Wi-Fi dosing pump? This is why. Will we ever have a Wi-Fi dosing pump? Probably not. No. So no, we're not, because we do not want to rely on that Wi-Fi connectivity. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah. I was just going to say, and there are options out there that have Wi-Fi dosers, but we're giving you this information to tell you why we're not doing it and what problems we see with doing it.
Exactly. Obviously, it's your money. You can buy whatever you want, whatever you see fit. But we want to make sure that you give you that information. So when you make that choice to buy something, you're making it while you are informed of why. And these are some things that, trust me, you know, between Dave and I have, you know, so many 40, 50 years of experience here. These are things that as a newbie, I would have never thought about it until it happened to me once. And once it happens to you, you're like, okay, I'm not doing that again. So we're just trying to save you the trouble of going through the frustration of the unfortunate learning experience, you know, and kind of shedding this light that, you know, Wi-Fi doser, when people ask us about, if you're asking somebody to do Wi-Fi dosing, think about it first, because you're kind of, again, you're playing with fire and you're setting yourself up. Yeah. All right. So wire dosing, Dave.
Wire dosing? It's really the only way, you know. For us, we believe it's the only way. It's too critical.
Yes, you know, Wi-Fi.
You have a controller. You set it up on the controller. All the commands are through the wire, regardless of the connectivity.
Exactly. So whether we have Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, it makes no difference, because the information, the commands, the command is going from the controller to the dosing via a wire. So there's nothing, I mean, unless somebody cuts it, but that's a different problem, you know. So wired dosing, yes. Wi-Fi dosing, you're not going to see it on hydros. It's just not going to happen. Yeah. Anyway, if you have any questions about hydros or about dosing, please head on over to support.coralvue.com, or you can head over to our Facebook group. We have a group of people that are always willing to help. So Dave, thank you for stopping by, and we will see everybody next time.
Thank you.